Welcome everyone to That Variety Nerd. I'm Christina, and for today's first video, yes, first video, brand new channel, get excited. We are diving into The Sims 4 in the Get Famous pack, and we are remodeling the house. That is called, I can't read what it says, Upland. It says Upland something, okay? We're gonna go with it, but it is one of the starter houses that is in Mirage Park. I don't know how I remember the neighborhood and not the lot, but as you can see from the first few pictures, we're just going to dive into it. It's a starter home, and so the logic is we're going to give it a 15,000 simoleon makeover because this is sort of based off of my current playing situation in The Sims. My sim is going from one starter home to upgrading another starter home and decided to move to Del Sol Valley in an attempt to get famous. I haven't played in a few days just because finals week has been just very long. But I wanted to just do something very chill, very relaxed. It's sort of the goal of this channel. Just to play a variety of games, talk about a variety of shows, whatever it may be. So yeah, and of course we're going to talk about the builds. I love remodeling the builds that we have in The Sims. That's sort of where I personally feel like is my strength because anytime I try to build something, it's sort of like, all right, we're going to get to the roofing and it looks like I don't know, like a shoe or something. So as you can sort of see, what we're trying to do, we're not doing an in-suite bathroom to the bedroom because it is a starter home. We only had 15,000 simoleons to really work with after, like, before we deleted everything. And so I wanted to just open up the floor plan a little bit, have everything nice and bright, wide open. My sort of logic is like, okay, we're going to have all of these starter homes, but even though they're small houses. So my logic is, all right, small house, let's kind of just air it out. We're going to make this very open. So as you can sort of see, I just pretty much just went all out on just changing this sort of layout to make it sort of work. And so what I'm doing here is that I'm moving around some windows. I'm not changing a whole lot, replacing the doors. That way it looks a little bit more fresh. That was sort of what I was going for. And so in this build, we're going with just a one bed, one bath sort of thing. And so what I like to do is that I basically get my layout going and then I sort of fill in the rest from there. So I sort of, whenever I go into these types of remodelings, when I go into builds, I like to use as very few packs as possible. And this is already, I believe, uploaded on the gallery. Yeah, that sounds right. So if you go on the gallery, my gallery name or username rather is CL567. I think there's a way to link it, so if I can somehow find a way to link it in the description, I will. But anytime I upload any sort of builds, I'm going to do my best to try to make an accompanying video because that's how it works. But in this remodel, I only use the base game and Get Famous because as a student still in school, I realize that these packs can be very expensive, or you're sort of like and a lot of folks are like this too. Although for me, I'm mostly like, it's on the. I need to get this on day one, but I know so many people that just wait until it goes on sale like a couple weeks later for 50% off. So that's sort of what I was going for. Again, just the base game and Get Famous are used in this build slash remodel. And that's sort of what I was going for. I didn't want to have a whole black and white and brown sort of theme going on. And you'll sort of see this as we're going into the bedroom, especially, and in the kitchen. I wanted to include some splashes of color. I felt like that was pretty fair. What I do for when I go into remodeling, I always just try to get like a cheap sort of bed. That way I can sort of get a feel for how the room is going to look. And again, 15,000 simoleons, it sounds like a lot, but when you're trying to add in like some of the nicer furniture that comes in Get Famous and in the base game, you kind of want to just do the best what you can with what you have. So that's sort of what I was going for here. I didn't want to go over the top. I wanted to do something just very chill. So the sim that I have playing in this house, she just maxed out her career in the tech guru career field, so that's exciting. I was originally going to have this sort of desk area, but you'll see I switched this around a little bit because this is the first little hallway slash only really hallway in this game, in this, not the game, but in the house. So you'll sort of see that I try to like to keep things a little consistent. I've probably watched too much HD TV in my life, but I try to match up the counters a little bit, and as you can tell, it's sort of like even if you're just changing the color, it's still the same counter. I try to keep the sink somewhat consistent too, but we'll just go with what we have. But I generally try to use base game more than anything, and especially with getting all these new little updates here and there, that's been really nice. And so that's where bulk of the furniture is coming from in the bedroom is from Get Famous and in the latest update, which is pretty exciting. Now, in terms of where was I going to go with this? In terms of where I am going to hopefully go with this channel, obviously I enjoy The Sims quite a bit. I've been an avid simmer since probably The Sims 2. That sounds about right because I was getting into it right around the time that The Sims 3 was coming out. It was within that year before The Sims 3 came out. And so I remember just like all kinds of craziness happening because we were all complaining about like, oh my gosh, our computers can't run The Sims 3 that well. And I'm thinking like even today, and I tried it out like a few months ago when I still had Origin access and everything, like The Sims 3 just is, it really, 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 really slows down your computer. I'm not even kidding about that. But yeah, I've been playing The Sims for even just a rough estimate, I would probably say on and off for about 10 years because sometimes I've gotten a break from it for a little while. I think we all have. There's kind of like that running joke where it's like, oh yeah, like I'm just going to get all this Sim stuff, I'm going to play for a week and then just not play it for 6 months, which for me that was the case for a little while. Once I really started to get really like back into it about a year ago. After watching some YouTube videos and of course watching some of the trailers, I was sort of like, oh, this is cool. Like I think I really got back into it right around the time that Seasons came out. So right around when Seasons came out, I sort of thought, oh, okay, this might be a good time to really get back into it. I think the timing was just right too because I was on summer break. I got my bachelor's then. So it was sort of like, okay, this is kind of cool. We're going to go with it. And so The Sims really became a staple into what I refer to as my nerd cave slash my apartment. And so I enjoy the building. I'm not perfect at building by any means, but I wanted to do something different and just have something that's very much on the side. So yeah, I currently just have my laptop as my gaming computer, which has everything else on it. I also have an Xbox One that I keep at home, of course. So yeah, I pretty much got into I've always enjoyed video games for as long as I possibly have could. Like, I think I remember the very first game I remember, like, not playing, but, like, one of the first games I remember playing, I think, was, like, one of the, like, original Grand Theft Auto games. I think it might have been San Andreas, actually. And my friends and I, we used to play that all the time when it came out. It was so much fun. And now it's sort of like, oh, this is cool. I'm an actual adult. I'm buying my own video games. So go figure. But sometimes and then at one point, I think during most of my college career, like I didn't have a gaming console. So I was just left to my own devices with the PC. And that's how I got involved with a lot of like Sim stuff. I also play some other games on Steam. One of the games that I really enjoyed last summer was this like house flipper game, and it's kind of similar to The Sims, except you have to do all these different weird challenges. I might showcase it on this game, but it really slows down my laptop. So it's either A, I have to get rid of a bunch of junk on my computer, or two, I just need to get like an external hard drive or something like that. But we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I'm all for suggestions on games that we can play. I've considered starting a Twitch channel, even though I don't know when or how I would stream that. I'm still looking into that. But considering that, that's pretty much what this channel is all about. It's about variety, it's about trying new things, seeing if things stick, and we'll just go from there. It's meant to just be a very fun, just very chill environment. Because we have a lot of stress in our lives, and I do too. So here are some of the screenshots for this remodel. As you can see, I changed the front door a little bit. That's the first picture that you see when you walk into the house, which I really like. It's very clean. Here's the kitchen. The sink's it's looking out to the road, which I think is really nice. The stove, I mean, ideally you want it against a different wall, not so much above there because you want a like range hood of some sort. So yeah, that's sort of the kitchen. I kept it very clean. I kept it very much open floor plan. That way there's a lot of room for people to move around with. I love the Get Famous chairs and tables in this game. I just love the Get Famous furniture, just in general. So that's where I was going with. But as you can see, there's like a whole clean look to this bedroom. It's very light wood, lots of just lighter tones, just because it is a smaller space and you want it to be as bright as possible. So yeah, this is my first video. Please like, subscribe, etc. And I will speak to you all soon. Please leave any feedback and yeah, bye everyone.